Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with some feedback for your writing assignment number 1, and I apologize for this delay. There are about 5 students that I'm not sure why, but the feedback was not associated or connected in this little box right here. So I apologize for the delay. I thank you for your patience, and I'm going to extend until, let's say, November 7th. I'll just keep moving that window back because Again, I apologize for the delay and I thank you for your patience. So let's get started with some feedback on this set of instruction. Remember that a set of instruction, the most important element is identifying the audience. So knowing or identifying what the audience should know, could know, would know is the most important element of a set of instructions because it defines the language that you would use. For example, if I am an NBA player and I'm writing a set of instructions for how to notice a pick on the court, I'm going to have a completely different language than if I know nothing about basketball. So the way that I identify information is going to vary significantly based on the information based on the level of understanding of the audience. So identify the audience. Here, I think you need to do that because while you say, setting up instructions are easy, let me show you some things that I'm not clear. I am pretty tech savvy with regards to programs, but I could not set up a computer or a printer or even program the remote to my TV to save my soul. I can navigate all kinds of programs, but doing the equipment level of it is not my area of understanding, expertise, or anything. So I think you need to define where you say it's a simple task. I would define that, identifying something, giving an adjective like simple or difficult or easy or requires a lot of background understanding of what that term simple means in that context. So set up the printer by plugging in the power cord and Ethernet cable. While you have here power cord and Ethernet cable, I love this graphic. What I would like to see is you can add some. So if you just take a snap and then you edit over and add like a circle and then an arrow and label it number 1 and say Ethernet, or type in Ethernet port and then power port. Turn on the printer by pressing the power button on the front of the machine. A separate graphic that shows the front of the machine, and again, a circle with a line that shows the power button. Wait for the printer to finish powering up, or I would say allow the printer to power on. Use remote desktop connection and remote into your power server. You haven't explained any of that. I need to know what is the remote desktop connection and remote into your print server. Here is where you lost me. I need to know what that is. Expand the scope for the room you are working on and click the address leases, see figure 2. So you need to tell me, where do I go to get there? From here, open DHCP, expand the scope. You want to have each one of these as separate instructions. 1, remote into print server. I would say this is a whole separate function, a whole separate set of instructions, and then say, to do this, 1, 2, 3, and then move through each of those sequential steps. Here's where you have some disconnect on the right side of the screen. So here, that is not starting with an action verb. I would say find newly added printer located on the right hand of the screen. And then next instruction, click to add reservation. Click to close the printer. Open web browser. Number 2, navigate to the IP reserved from step 6, I guess right here. Yes. Click on networking tab, located in the top right. Click on network identification subtab. Change the host name from its default to proper name scheme. Click apply, click advanced subtab, change location, click apply. So each time, I want you to think of each set of instructions like a grocery list. When I go to the grocery store, if I need potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese, When I buy tomatoes, I cross that whole line off the list. So here you have two, click and change. If I'm buying tomatoes, I can't scratch that whole line because um, you have three instructions here: click, change, and room number and a brief description. Change the list. So you have three things you want me to do there. So make sure that each one of those are aligned. And the next thing I recommend, see how I like how you've added these arrows. I would like to see that up here on these images that you've done also. And then adding the printers. So again, we had some more in the upper right-hand corner. You want to make sure that you say click first, use that action verb. Click new port on the bottom window. Again, these ellipses is not required here. Enter the new name in both printer. Click next. So you have, for the most part, you have three things that I recommend. One, detail a little further these images. I'd like to see one at the front also. Make sure that your instructions are 4 to 5 words. Just set up printer. 1, plug in power cord. 2, plug in Ethernet cord. 3, turn on printer. Wait for allow it to power up. 3, remote desktop. So give these very brief instructions and then hard return underneath or hard carriage underneath and give an explanation or a note detailing that instruction. Keep your images to one area and approximately the same size. What you really want to do is give the instruction, define it or description, and illustrate. So you want to walk your reader, your audience, from left to right through the page. So if you set up a hard edge here for instructions, a hard edge here for notes, a hard edge here for illustrations or figures, that helps your reader to walk through. So I hope that this was helpful. I apologize for the delay, and I look forward to reading your final copy.